Good morning, everyone. This is episode 280 of the OotiniCast, being recorded on... Alright, so the date says the 30th, which means it's the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday the 29th. The guest is just Charlie. We fully anticipate, but this will be a short show because there's actually nothing to talk about, really. Remember, it's all happening next Friday. And so I meant to discuss this with my co-host here, so we can do this live. Chill, what do you think about delaying a day next week and recording on the after the big event? We don't have to. It's just a random thought.
We could. I might have to move some things around, but I could look into that.
Actually, yeah. Let's just take that as a... Because that would be mean recording on my Saturday, which I don't really want to do. Yeah, maybe we'll just...
And then spending a good chunk of the rest of your weekend editing.
Yes, actually. All right, let's stick with plan A then. And record on the Thursday night, as per usual. And then we'll just have a mega show the next week.
Sounds good. There'll probably be some follow-ups and clarifications over the next couple days after that anyway. Excellent. As soon as people have a chance to jump to the wrong conclusions. I'm
sure there'll be a lot of that. And you are correct. We will go with Chill's wisdom at this time. All right, let's have a look. Oh, hello everyone. 15 of you already. This must be Charlie's fan club. Hello everyone who loves Charlie.
If only that were really the case. I'm losing.
I don't recognise some of those names.
Nobody's watching my videos anymore.
Really? Well, you don't have to tell me this now, but are you noticing a decline in your views?
Yeah, I am. I mean, with the video I just popped up, that has boosted it a little bit, but the actual Sith Inquisitor and the Smuggler videos I'm doing, it's just not kicking off. I'm still going to do it because I'm a completionist, and once I start something, I feel like I need to finish it. Unless, of course, it's KOTOR, which I've started and stopped so many times on my channel. But I feel like I just need to finish the Smuggler at least, because the Smuggler is one of the stories I've never finished in the 5 years. Never.
Oh, wow.
So...
That's fun.
Gives me
you really should finish that story.
I've done chapter 1, so that's the main thing. But I'll go
okay. Who's Snoke? Does everyone know? Does anyone know who Snoke really is? Besides a really odd-looking guy who likes big hologram settings. No, I don't either. I've heard theories that are all a bit silly. The Darth Plagueis thing is probably sure.
It's the obvious one.
That's right.
It is, which means it's probably not true. There've been some crazy theories. I've been staying away from episode 8 and all the madness around that. It's just... Yeah, sure. Because I remember in the lead up to The Force Awakens, if you remember that, there were all kinds of theories and most of them were wrong. So, it's just a waste of time. Alright, we aren't going to mess around because Charlie is tired, even if he's not working early.
Not until 2 PM, yay!
Indeed, well, we'll see. Alright, anything else before we go? You're both recording, we're ready to go, and I need to tweet, and then we go. Tweeting now, because it's nice and easy. Tweeting as OotiniCast, recording 280, done. Alright, Chill, let's do it.
Alright, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast, the podcast that isn't brave enough for politics. This is episode 280, being recorded on Thursday, September 29th, 2016. I'm your host, Chill, with our producer and co-host, Tio. Hi, Tio.
Hey, guys.
And our guest today is the ever-fun Charlie Kranatoko. Charlie, how you been? What you been up to?
Hello, yes. Very tired, but I'm always tired when I'm doing the OotiniCast at this time of night. It's been a while since when was the last time I was on? About well over a month ago, at least.
Sure.
At least. More than that, I think, yeah.
Well, I have done a lot in the game. I'll just get through all of that before I talk about the main thing which I've done. Been doing a lot of Sith Inquisitor and the Smuggler, obviously for my channel. Finished Chapter 1, hooray! I've done the Sith Inquisitor before. This is just more of a dark side playthrough, because the last time I played the Sith Inquisitor I did the light side. So I might as well leave the best one till last.
Ah.
And
It is
the
very
smuggler-
natural for the character, isn't it, Slave?
It is very nice. And
Oh,
I
yes.
love, because of course I'm doing the female version as well. I love the voice actor. She is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely
yeah, that's
insane. Especially
my
when she's
favorites
just being
too.
so super evil. And if I were to do light side with a female character, I don't think it would work. Because she is, my language, she is just a total bitch, and I love that. Absolutely love it. And with with my smuggler as well, obviously it's in the blind playthrough, so I don't know what I'm playing, what my choices are. And yeah, it's still very contradictory. My character keeps doing one thing, and then it's all like doing the complete opposite, and you just think, what is going on? You're just doing the opposite thing which you said you'd never do. So yes, it's fun, and obviously it's all for, I keep saying obviously a lot, I've just realised that.
Obviously.
It's all for the Dark vs. Light event, because I'm going to try and see if I can do it all. I do need to ask a question, because I don't know if you two know this, because I need this clarifying. If I just create the Dark vs. Light characters, could I still complete the achievements when the event finishes?
This is a fascinating question that we did not follow up with. Must go. I believe the wording, it was brought up that the wording for the first 2 or 3 tiers actually mention during the event you have to actually achieve the various prerequisites, whereas after that it was with a Dark versus Light character. Now, they could have just messed up the wording, but the implication was, at least initially, you have to do those during the event, but it's possible that once the event completes, you could still complete it afterwards. We have not got confirmation of that, but the wording of the achievements in-game does sort of imply that.
Yeah, because I did try and ask him myself, but he never got back to me, so I guess he's just not
Okay.
he's not being
Fair enough.
very loud about that at the moment.
Actually, was it you, Charlie, who brought that up? That sounds vaguely familiar. Alright, forget it.
Not that I remember. Maybe. Sounds like something I would do. I've also released a trailer on my channel for the Kranatoko story. It's not about me. I just kind of wanted to do a... not yet. I'll do one another
some
time.
Other Kranatoko?
Yes.
I've still got to do that. The interview we sort of arranged a long time ago that me and you guys might have done, but we never got round to that. Many moons ago. If you remember that. It's basically just showing the class story of my main character Sith Warrior, like properly without commentary and without any goofs and mess ups. Like when I first did my Sith Warrior playthrough, I was an amateur. I didn't know what I was doing, so I'm just going through pretty much all my videos, picking out all the choices which I made, and then just redoing it in, goodness, in 1080p, 60 FPS, just making it look nice. And I've worked really hard on it, because I've tried to add like a few connecting features, just like Kranatoko walking to something and all that, where it doesn't appear in the cutscene and whatnot. And the main thing I've done on my channel is a video which I released on Saturday. Top 5 things Knights of the Eternal Throne needs to do to keep players, which has received a little bit of criticism from some people. There's a few people who obviously disagree, and I know you were mentioning before the show, Tia, that you kind of disagree with the last point with the class stories.
Now, it's not that I disagree, it's just there isn't much point in asking for something which is effectively impossible. Remember, you're asking for something which would require 8 times as much effort as anything else they could do, which would be, the kind of single stream story as we have seen so far. So it's just unlikely. It's not a bad thing. Remember, there's just so much story content in SWTOR because of those 8 class stories. It's just they're unlikely to do it again.
But
so you're going to walk us...
Sorry, you carry on.
No, I was going to ask, can you walk us through your other 4 points off the 5?
Well, I was going to say... it's not like I'm sort of asking for class stories, every chapter is a class story. What I'm just asking for is just one chapter, maybe dedicate chapter 6 or something, or 7 or 8, just one chapter, just around each character's class story, just so that we can sort of make it fit within your character's profile. So it's like I was saying in the video, there were some things in Knights of the Fallen Empire, which just kind of didn't make sense for your character, and they kind of just forced it in.
Yep.
So that's all I'm really asking for, just one chapter to dedicate that, just to get your character on the right path onto why they're even doing any of this.
And they could even add more companions. Companions. But this time actually make them, once again, specific to the class rather than just part of the whole alliance crowd. That'd be nice.
But then would
cool.
they need to do companion stories, or do you reckon
Sure.
they should just leave that out?
Yes.
To some degree, they would,
Okay.
sure.
Well, why not? Back to their roots. They're good
I
at
know they
going back
definitely
to
need to
their
do companion
roots.
stories for the companions we got on the main side of Kopfi, not the other tiny characters, just the main characters. There was also a point I made about the mini games. I know a lot of people were saying to me,
That was a
well, that's
good
not
one.
really a priority, Charlie. Why would you even want that?
Should be.
I mean, the thing is, they added the nightlife event. Was that exactly a priority? Not really. It was just something to kind of keep people going, and maybe they could do the same with Bazak. That's all I'm saying. They could probably do this when they bring the nightlife event back. Well, you got the slots, and you got Bazak. And then somebody also brought up, why did they only have the nightlife event as just a few month thing and then have it go away? Why isn't it there permanently?
Good point. That is a good question. Why don't they?
Exactly. It will make
And they
people go
should.
to the Starclux Casino a lot more often, and
But have many
hopefully get
things
that
like
rank up.
that. The more and more things like that is in game, the more things you have to do, a variety of things to do. And that will bring people back, give you a reason to log in.
Exactly. What were my other 3 points? I can't actually remember them.
Oh, for Christ's sake, Charlie. Come on.
I made the video and I can't even remember what they were.
I did only watch it the once. I didn't sort of go over it several times. What else did you say?
Oh. Let me just
Well,
quickly
if
check.
you can't remember...
Hold on, one
Don't
second.
you have your script handy, or did you just...
I have my script handy, but I can't be bothered to get my document up because it would take forever compared to actually getting the video right.
As opposed to
here
just-
now.
Oh, he's going to watch the video.
I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to look.
Skim
I'm just gonna-
through to the
Oh,
titles.
the
yeah.
Cartel Market was one of my points. They just need to slow it down because, as I've shown in the actual video, they released one pretty much every month, and
Cartel
people
pack.
know me. I
Yes.
love watching. I love opening cartel packs, but I use my own money. It does get a little bit expensive at the end of the day.
That's the point, Charlie. Your money.
I
to them.
know.
So you're suffering from pack fatigue, is what you're saying.
A little bit, yeah. And it's hard work to make a pack video because I've got to edit it down. Because I've tried my best to make my pack videos a lot more neater and tidier than they were a couple of years ago.
So the problem is they're making too much work for you because they're releasing packs too
Yes.
frequently? Is that,
Yes,
is that what
they
you're getting
are.
at? Okay.
That's fine.
Yes, they totally are.
All right. They really have to
Then
slow
again,
that down then.
these were my top 5 things, so people
Fair
were,
enough.
people could
Yeah.
happily disagree. I wouldn't mind.
All right.
Oh,
Right.
Next.
the
Well,
third
wait,
choice.
before that, how do you like the new pack opening
Experience.
experience in the game?
I do like it, honestly. I do like it, but I've only ever really tried it once because I only did
What?
it with the. Did I? Yeah, I think I only did it once with the last pack that came out, the Battlers, and that was it. Because that was sort of when it came. Was it? I don't know. Did I do it with the? That was like I can't remember.
Sounds like it's
but
not making much of an impression on you.
It's good. I like it. It's neat and tidier, but it takes too long to open the packs now.
Right.
I know it's like only by a few seconds, but a few seconds is,
Time is money, friend.
exactly.
Times 30 packs, or
Mm.
Oh, and they dropped that. They dropped that to 26 packs.
that's
in the
right,
last
it's
one, didn't
26.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll keep doing it. I don't like it when they keep changing the numbers. The third one down the line, we've already talked about number 1, but the third one was choices that matter.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
boy.
This again?
TM.
Really?
Oh boy. Yeah. So we've already established no
Cough.
spoilers, of course. We already established that your choices didn't matter in Kopfi, but they apparently will in Kotet. But
Yes,
we'll
a whole
see
bunch
that
of
when we
decisions
actually get
you've already made are going to have consequences down the track. It's
But
kind of
it
like
just-
real life. It's amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is, it just really annoyed me how Bioware kept saying every producer's live stream, oh, just wait. In this chapter, your choices will really matter. Oh, just wait. Next chapter, yes, and then
But they did.
nothing. Sort of. Yeah, that's it. Just sort of. Not. It wasn't really impactful. So I'm just really hoping that in Kotat it really will be impactful.
You've just got to accept there is a reality of how you build these things, and there is only so far they can stray from the one true path. You can have maybe a couple of one true paths, but that's it. And then it gets way complicated.
And that's what I brought up in my video, that being an MMO, it is difficult to make meaningful decisions that will have dire consequences in the future. But if Bioware are going to keep promising that and then they don't really deliver, what's the point in saying it? There's just really no point.
Alright, what else?
And the second point was group content, which I know would probably make you very happy, Tio, considering you're a group content kind of person.
Repeatable content with the group aspect to it would be nice, yes. But I'd be happy with all soloable flashpoints myself, because that'd be kind of cool too. Repeatable stuff. I don't care what it is.
It's good to do them in solo, but sometimes I do just want to play.
It is fun with friends, and a scalable number of friends as well.
Exactly. And when, like I mentioned in the video, when they announced the Star Fortresses, I guess I was probably the only one that thought, ooh, 6 brand new flashpoints. Yeah, it's sort of going to be the same sort of thing, but 6 brand new flashpoints. Oh, they're going to be quite different in what they are, but they were just all the same. The Star Fortresses were the same every single time.
Star Fortress Eye, yes.
Star Fortress Eye. So yeah, and obviously, like I said, we've already discussed the last one, but yeah, that was my video in a nutshell. People disagree. These were my opinions. I kind of did try and reiterate that in the video, but people didn't really pay attention to that.
Your opinion, it's yours. It can't be wrong.
Exactly,
by definition.
And I'm proud of this video because it's basically the hardest video I've ever worked on, and the nicest video I've ever worked on. It looks so clean cut. I just love the way I made it, and I'm gonna stop saying obviously. The next video I've got coming out is a nicer video, which is coming out tomorrow night. Top 5 theories on who the Kotet road figure is in the actual image.
Right.
So I've got some really interesting
bloody
theories.
Senya. Surely it's Senya. Come on. Oh, the other one.
The other
one facing Senya.
One. Yes.
Right.
So yeah, I even say in the video that people don't think it's Senya. I mean, I believe it's Senya, but there's some people that just don't.
Yeah.
I know it's stupid to disagree, but I do personally believe it's Senya. And
can you give us a spoiler for who the road figure is?
I don't know, of course, but in the actual video, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh.
I can tell you. I'll tell you one of them, but one of my theories, but I won't tell you where it is.
Okay.
I do believe one of them could just be Vishut, but that's all I'll say. You'll need to sort of watch the video to understand why I think
his own body
in one of them.
Yeah, all right.
You have to understand why.
Okay.
So yeah, that's me. That took how long? That took about 10 minutes. Yeah, that was me.
Very nice. All right. Tio, how about your week?
Well, let's just say it didn't involve much gaming, but I did have an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't usually talk about much outside of the SWOTOR thing, but I'll convey this anyway. So here in Australia, on Wednesday morning, I flew down with a coworker to Adelaide, as I have been doing regularly. Arrived late morning. There was apparently storms predicted. Apparently the worst in 50 years was what the Bureau Meteorology was saying. Oh yeah, I thought that probably sounds a bit rough. Hopefully it'll be over by the time I have to fly home. Anyway, in the afternoon, the storm rolled over. We were at the business that we were visiting, our subcontractor. About 4 p.m. or so, power went out, as you kind of expect, even though their business is like 3k out of the city, and power grid's usually pretty solid. Anyway, power went out, we waited, didn't come back on, and so thought we'd make it to the hotel. We were checking news because we still had our phones working, but power was out. So it wasn't just our area or the city, it was the entire state, 1.67 million people. The entire state's power was out. It's just ridiculous. I just wouldn't have believed this was possible. So anyway, driving to the hotel through Adelaide, which is the capital of the state, all the traffic lights were out. There was just no power anywhere Literally.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. And our hotel was right in the center of the city, right in the CBD. No power.
Mm-hmm.
They had a generator running, so they had their lift working. Anyway, yeah, so trying to get food was a bit of a problem because all the restaurants were closed because they didn't have power either. Yeah, it was just amazing. So we actually ate at the hotel. They were just serving cold food in the dark. They had candles and things. It was just, yeah. Anyway, the power did eventually come back on because getting this power to the CBD first is obviously a big priority. It turned out that, you know those massive transmission towers? The big metal pylon things?
Yep.
The high voltage ones? Yeah, a few of those had just been crushed by the wind.
Wow.
So, yeah, the whole network had shut down because of those problems. And anyway, and it took them ages to switch it back on. So that was my adventure. Yeah, so I was really, really glad that we had flights booked last night. I got home at about 10 p.m. Flight left on time. We were worried there's more bad weather coming. So yes, I experienced what was a most bizarre disaster in modern times. A city without power.
Yep.
Imagine even your cell phones would eventually stop working because the cell towers have only got so much power before their batteries run out.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway, that was kind of exciting, but glad to be home.
Yeah, I'll bet.
You'd have to talk to people. Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah, actually, came up at dinner. I was with some of my co-workers waiting for our dinner order, which they lost because it was in the dark and they were writing up bits of paper. Anyway, they did eventually serve us. People, imagine kids being there and not being able to have phones and like having to actually talk to people face to face.
Absolute nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah, I
like
don't know
child
how they
abuse.
deal.
No, right?
Anyway, that was my sort of exciting week and not the kind of excitement I like. Over to you, Chill.
Okay. Well, we'll start off with a shout out to the chat room. And Enoch is here, Bell Show, Bo Daddy, Captain and GM, Count Luku, Dekion, Dispel53, Dreadx, Farseer, Gahana, Gator Skull 1289, Chipeo, Hawk is here, Jagged Fell, JC Dad and Hubby, Kaiberius, Granatoko is here, Naraga, Papavan, Falzen, Robtober25, Snave is here, hi Snave, Stanzi87, Trig PT, and Zen0001. Alright. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. Pretty simple this week. Got several streams in. Still working on the Dark Side character, going through the Kotfi chapters. Got through the Galt Renault chapter on Chill Satan. And then I just have a few more chapters, and then switching over to Light Side Chill Santa. And I'll be leveling him up via the flashpoints that need doing. And once I've done that, be pretty close to the end. There's only a few little minor things I'll need to do, like the first 5 or so of the Eternal Championship, stuff like that. Should be pretty easy. And yeah, so pretty basic. Had a lot of fun, and that'll bring us to the answer to the trivia question that I gave out last week. Alright, so last week I asked the Star Wars The Old Republic trivia question, with the winner to receive an Amazon code, which gives a 90-day subscription, plus 2,400 cartel coins, courtesy of Whistling Breeze of the Jedi Covenant server. Thank you, Whistling Breeze. And the question was, in Star Wars The Old Republic, what ability has the longest channel time? This includes only abilities that have an actual cooldown, or countdown channel while they're in use, like Force Quake or Force Storm, not abilities like Sprint that you just turn on and leave on. And also that it had at least a 30-second channel. And the answers, there are 2 that worked, because they're essentially tied, are the racial special abilities for the Twi'lek and the Togruta, called Parlor Dance and Traditional Storytelling.
Ah, there you go.
Yes, both have a 10-minute channel, 600 seconds.
Oh, jeez.
In fact, Parlor Dance, the Twi'lek one, started the game with a much longer channel of over 40 minutes. I've seen a couple different numbers, but it's definitely over 40 minutes long originally, and at some point it got reduced down to 10 minutes. I guess that's more reasonable. So we had a good number of people who came up with one or both of those. It included Jedi, Zen, Galen, Kevin Cohort, Kulaf of the Red Eclipse, Finalis of Bergeron Colony, Rutanest, Jimmy a.k.a. Pluto on Ebonhawk, Kelly Ellis, Joe Beck, at Have Mercy 1, Shadowcon of Jedi Covenant, AJ, and Dave Spamcatcher. Well done all. By random allotment, the winner of the Amazon code is Kulov of the Red Eclipse. Congratulations. Very well done. That was a lot
well
of
done,
fun.
guys, and thank you everyone for entering. That's a
Yes.
really good question, Shell.
Oh, thanks. It was a lot of
And
fun.
nice work on everyone
Yeah.
who responded.
And I knew I had a pretty good answer. I was still wondering if like someone would come up with something even longer, but it looks like we must have found it. There is a possibility that one or two of the bosses in the game might have some sort of crazy long countdown timer on theirs, but we kind of stuck to the player abilities for this one.
Yep.
So, all right, that'll bring us to the tip of the week. We have one tip this week. Would you like me to read it to you, or would you like to read it?
Oh, I'll give it a go.
All right, it is from one of the correct answers of the trivia question, I notice.
And that was AJ at R2D2Arm on Twitter, who plays Yajard of Jedi Covenant. And he says, "Hi, Tio and Chill. I have a tip regarding an issue with Dark vs. Light event pack items. Sometimes the reward items from the event packs are armor set pieces. I do not know why, but the event reward items sometimes do not count towards collection unlocks. Now, I thought they mentioned that a while ago as being an issue which they had subsequently fixed. Allegedly. Anyway,
Right.
AJ goes on, I was hoping this problem was fixed with the cartel item stash, but that is not the case. My tip is for how to handle situations where you cannot get the armor set to unlock in collections. If you are a subscriber, you can submit a ticket for each armor set not unlocking. Provide which character has the items bound to them in their inventory and what pieces are not counting towards the collection's unlock. SWTOR customer service has either manually given me the collection unlock, oh cool, or mailed replacement items to get the set to unlock. Great
Very
and
nice.
quick responses from customer service. Hope this helps someone out. That's awesome. That really is awesome and implies customer service hasn't got a lot to do at the moment.
Well,
Awesome.
I'm just happy to hear, about something that they can definitely do in the game. Because sometimes you do hear about things that they wish they could do or just can't do or don't have the tools for.
With the
you know,
story,
or-
etc.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Mission related, especially.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that there are some things that they absolutely can do. So, very good.
Indeed.
All right. Well, by not so random allotment, the winner is AJ. Congratulations, AJ. You're the winner of a Tonfon or M83R Droid pet code, courtesy of Bioware, and a new OotiniCast provided Cartel Market pack from the latest shipment. And if you'd like a chance to win the same, please send your tips to OotiniCast@gmail.com by next Wednesday. And that will bring us to the Holo feed. Tio?
Well, there isn't a lot to talk about, but what we do have, firstly, just a reminder that next Friday at New York Comic Con, at the Community Cantina, they will reveal everything, almost, about Knights of the Eternal Throne. The big info dump is coming. Now, a couple of days ago, they started the countdown. They announced this on Twitter and probably Facebook, where on their YouTube channel they will be releasing a soundtrack from Knights of the Fallen Empire. So obviously from what's already been released, each day in a single playlist, but each track as its own YouTube video. They started with A War of Heirs. Guess who that is? Wage war against a powerful ruling family and discover the hidden ambitions threatening to tear them apart. But it's just music. And then the second one that just came out today, Entering the Asylum. Travel deep into the unknown regions and discover the mysterious shadow port of Asylum, home to a host of Zakulan refugees fleeing Arkan's warpath. Now, as far as I know, we can't get back to Asylum, can we? We visited in one of the earlier chapters, but we just can't go back.
We
Which
kind
is
of
a shame.
we kind of abandoned it. It's being attacked. It's not clear if it gets destroyed or just damaged. But yeah,
Well,
as far as I know,
destroyed would be convenient.
as
Can't
far
go
as
back.
I know, we don't
Yeah.
go back to it. Yeah.
Now, they did also tweet that as an added incentive, if you didn't want to go for all the Kotet information to that cantina, the voice actors who play Valkorian, that's Darren DePaul, friend of the show, and Valen, that's Natasha Loring, both
Nice.
will be there. And I certainly know Darren DePaul is a fantastic guy to talk to and interact with. He's a
And I've
good
met
guy,
Natasha
so
Loring, and she's really cool. She's pretty cool.
excellent. So yeah, if you weren't going to go anyway, here's another reason to go to New York, and drop by. So anyway, yes, we are counting down. Now, next, there was just a single post on the official forums from Bioware this week about dirty, rotten cheaters. Now, a player by the name of Icy Kill mentioned that the hackers in PvP are apparently on the rise again. These are guys who use nefarious means to cheat the system in various ways, that like speed hacks and other things that make them invulnerable. Actually, I'm just guessing. I've heard things like that, but I don't know actually what they're doing these days. Icy Kill was basically waiting for, or was asking for, some kind of official word from Bioware that the cheating was bad and you really shouldn't do it. So this is what Eric responded. Anytime that you see someone you suspect to be cheating in PvP, do two things. Immediately report them in-game using the internal ticket. I assume that means that you're a subscriber. And anyone could do this probably, send Tate, myself, or both a private message on the forums with their details, server, character name, etc. So again, with this kind of thing, when it happened, who it was, as much detail as you possibly can will help them narrow down, make sure that it's a legitimate complaint, that the person really was doing something wrong, especially if they get multiple people reporting, they can correlate it, and action will be taken. Eric went on, we always investigate these issues right away and take appropriate action. As a note, you mentioned that I had said that we won't permanently suspend an account for cheating/hacking. I hope I didn't say that, since it's not correct, and I have no memory of him ever saying that, ever.
No.
They've always said that well, as he goes on to say, repeated or severe uses of cheats/hacks have been and will be permanently banned. Now, something they can't help is when people continually create new accounts, and they can ban an account, but a given player can just create a new one. Of course, they lose everything with the first account, but yeah, they do the best they can.
Right.
So anyway, just a reminder, cheating's bad, and yes, they will, if they catch you, ban you eventually, if it's continuous or enough. All right.
This would upset me if it was happening to me. Snaven in the chat channel is saying that one of the hackers is using names that are similar to his, which would, even though, and he's saying that of course he doesn't need it, use it, but apparently one of the cheaters is. That would really suck, actually. Yeah,
well, that's just a kind of trolling. It's pretty nasty. And there is also the category where people report people for hacking when they're really just playing well. I mean, that's a thing too. Using their abilities, it can actually look like cheating if you don't really know what they're doing. So, but often, like speed hacks, there's just no excuse for that. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Now, just to show that we really are scraping the bottom of the barrel. Something on Reddit I noticed a while ago. Someone posted a codex entry for the history of the Vibro mop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I've seen this in game. I liked it. Yeah.
All right, let me read it out. History of the Vibro mop. Since its invention in 13 BTC by scientist Rain Flavius, the Vibro mop has been a vital component of hygienic maintenance throughout the galaxy, integrating the versatility of a vibro blade with the dependability of a household mop.
Whoa.
It served as a template for a new and exciting array of cleaning apparatus, including the electromagnetic duster and the iron-charged dish rag.
No way!
Though the Vibro mop is primarily utilized in small-scale household sanitation, it has played a role in many of the greatest feats of sterilization in the galaxy. The cleanup following Druga the Hutt's historic 600th birthday celebration owes its success to a single Vibro mop, which expired after the completion of its titanic task. Druga's janitorial staff held a private ceremony to honor the tool's heroic service.
That is insane. Absolutely
yeah, some writer.
Insane, T.O.
Yes, it is.
Whoa.
I like how there's even a picture of a Twi'lek wielding the Vibro mop.
Indeed.
Properly.
So anyway, that's just a bit of fun. Alright, some other Star Wars news, and this isn't so good. It's another related game, Star Wars Uprising, which I believe we talked about when it came out. It came out officially September 10th last year, 2015. It's a phone game. It was on both iOS and Android, and I do recall installing it, though played it a little bit and then got bored because, I don't do mobile games typically. But anyway, it's shutting down.
I know. I actually played this a fair bit. Yeah, I haven't, although it hasn't been for a few months, to be fair. Yeah, but I played it a fair bit for a while, and it was pretty sweet.
It's set shortly after the events of Return of the Jedi and deals with the aftermath of the Battle of Endor, which saw the deaths of Darth Sidious and Darth Vader. The Galactic Empire, reeling from its loss, locks down the Anote sector. A rogue band of resistance fighters comes together to create an uprising against the Empire in the sector, which is the story of the game, and what I just read from the Star Wars wiki. So anyway, yeah, on September 22nd, it was announced that by Kabam, who's the game maker, that they're shutting it down. It will be completely shut down on November the 17th this year. So you do still have a while to play. I don't think you can purchase things anymore, of course. Now, as to why they're shutting down, their answer in the fact they posted: while Star Wars Uprising was enjoyed by a great community of players since its launch, the game is no longer achieving the level of success needed to maintain the game, and the decision was made to discontinue support. So anyway, in other words, it wasn't making enough money.
Right.
And the obvious question is, why can't they just leave the servers up? Because once they take the servers down, you can't play anymore. It's gone.
Yes.
Which kind of sucks, especially for a mobile game. And the answer given was there are a number of things that go into maintaining a game beyond keeping the power running. Addressing issues, developing content, and providing support are important components as well. And we feel those resources will be better served building and supporting Kabam's other existing and new titles. Well, that's kind of annoying, isn't it? And is there any way to save your player data? Nah. All gone, they said. And where can I play other games like Star Wars Uprising? And Kabam apparently has several games that do fall under that category, so I'm sure you can go and play those instead. But, yep, everything you put into this, it's just gone.
See, now it's quite sad, because I mentioned this in my top 5 video, that the day SWTOR decides to shut down, everything that every player has done, everything they've bought, will be gone. You've got to think about that. It will be gone.
Yes, and you should probably... Yes, that is something to think about, but there's no real sign that SWTOR will be shut down.
Of course.
For a long, long time to come.
When it will happen.
But you're right. Any MMO, presumably, eventually, they will shut out the lights, such as in Star Wars Galaxies. Though something we'll talk about probably next week, since we won't have anything else to talk about, is an article I was reading about the SWG EMU, the emulator for Star Wars Galaxies, which I think we've touched on before, where they just come up with their own servers. They reverse engineer the protocol. You have to have a real client, but they basically created their own emulator server. So that can bring an MMO back to life. Of course, what was in the official game, all gone. But yes, it's a shame they can't somehow turn this into a just single-player game. At least so you could just keep playing it. Yeah. Anyway, as they eventually did, I believe, with SimCity, whatever the latest one is.
SimCity was where they were saying, oh, we can't make it single-player because it's online. And then they managed to make it single player. So
after claiming it was impossible and
exactly.
Yeah. Somehow I don't think anyone's going to pay Kabam to do this, and so they probably won't.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It is pointed out that it is part of the new canon, so it wasn't like wasn't like once the game is gone that it has no effect. I mean, potentially this stuff is part of the new canon and could be incorporated into other books and such.
That's true. The story itself, yeah, but the game experience, no more.
People are just
anyway,
on YouTube videos now.
Well, maybe you should play through it quickly, Charlie, and just record all that stuff.
Don't have a way to record my iPad.
A bit of research, I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, that's the news.
All right, that'll bring us to the Academy, and this week Sotarista continues her PvP series with a detailed overview of the 8v8 Warzone Alderaan Civil War. Thank you, Swotorista. And that'll bring us to the Force feedback where we read out your tweets and emails. And Shintar of the SWTOR Commando blog, whose interview with Michael Backus we discussed on last week's show, said, "Thanks for the shout-out. Just FYI, I'm a she." Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's not the first time I've screwed that up. I'm sorry, Shintar. Most sincerely.
Nightlord writes, "Sighing that you're lazy. Finally watched OotiniCast episode 259 4 months later. Why did I wait? I genuinely enjoyed the RP." Ah, yes, that was the famous RP show.
With Our Own Charlie here and Swotorista.
What a nightmare.
Yes.
What a nightmare it was.
Best left, well, yeah. It's still out there, and yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about it.
It was still fun.
It was fun.
And Greg wrote, "So I just got an Unstable Arbiter's dual saber and a white and black Hawkeye crystal from my level 50 Dark versus Light packs. Hashtag lucky, hashtag SWTOR." Yes, I would say
Nice
so.
work, mate. Nice
Yeah.
work.
Yep. Definitely have not gotten anything as cool as the Unstable Arbiter's sabers.
Yeah, it's a really good lightsaber. I've got it on my character. Although I do want to change it up when it comes to Kotat, because I'm getting a bit bored of it now.
Okay, Blay wrote in, "Can't wait for the new section of the show where guest and Tio have to watch Chill, have to teach Chill Chill a new expression. Call it jam stolen as." Okay.
Yeah. We'll teach you how to speak Australian.
So I get the as part, but what is jam stolen? I mean, I assume
That was
this is
his,
a variation on the as thing from the other week.
That's when Blay had his expression, something about taking jam out of donuts, which I hadn't heard before.
Ah, okay.
Some
Who would do
English
such a
thing, I
thing?
guess. Or Scottish. Have you heard that one, Charlie? Taking
No,
jam out of
I've
donuts? Or
I've never heard that.
Alright.
You live in a crazy country, Tio. If they do that.
No, that was from Blay, so one of yours.
Oh, really? We do that? Oh, okay.
Well, it's more of a saying. It means roughly the same as take the wind out of your sails, take the jam out of your donut.
It's horrendous. It's just some sort of travesty.
I just
Anyway,
haven't even heard
move
that one.
on.
I'm a
All
minor.
Let's see. A recent guest Hawk wrote in, said someone got frozen in carbonite, and then it says there's a Think Geek link. It says Utini eyes light up on and off switch on the back of the hood, and a Think Geek creation and exclusive. And it's a Jawa little mini statue. I'm not sure exactly how tall it is. Looks
Was
like
it
it's a few
pewter?
inches.
Did it say?
Could be, but I wouldn't guarantee it. I can't tell. It looks to me like colored plastic, but I could be wrong.
And you can actually sort of see the face, which is sort of wrapped up in bandages. Normally it's just dark and you can't see it. I guess I had to do something with it. That's kind of creepy, actually.
Now, amazing as this does look, I don't think I'd want to be just, I don't know, taking a stroll outside of my back garden and just seeing these two yellow eyes just watching me. It might
Lawn
scare-
ornament.
scare me a
Right,
little
Hawk saying,
bit.
yeah, it's a lawn ornament, so...
That could be yours for a cool $80 plus shipping.
So the solar panel helps keep the lights on during the night. That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Nero wrote in, check out this cool wallet my wife got me.
And that is awesome. The colors of it looks like Boba Fett's helmet.
Right.
It's just amazing.
The funny thing is, if you had it, when you have it closed, which will be most of the time, it won't look like much, but then when you open it up, it very clearly is the Boba Fett visor. That's nice.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Charel wrote in, hello there, OotiniCast. On episode 279, Tio attributed the origin of better than cross-server phrase to Michael Backus. It was actually Gaddock Teague that originated the phrase in a conversation with former SWTOR producer Bruce McLean at the 2014 New York Comic-Con Canteen event on October 10th.
And then we got a direct quote from Gaddock Teague himself, and he posted this on Reddit, at the New York City Cantina, the topic of queue times was brought up in a conversation between myself, Bruce McLean, and a few members of the Guild Redemption, he thinks. Bruce said they were working on something to reduce queue times, which I responded to by asking if they were working on Crossserver. Bruce emphatically responded with better. I then repeated, better than Crossserver? He confirmed. I remember this conversation vividly because of how shocking his response seemed to be. Yeah, so, yes, I was completely wrong about the Michael Backus thing. I've heard various people attributed to that expression to various people. So, yes, it was actually JD, Yadok Teague himself. Okay. Sort of spurred on by Bruce McLean, but...
Right. Do you want me to go ahead and continue? This led to further questions about the topic at subsequent 2014 Cantina events. A voice recording from the Las Vegas Cantina event on 15 November 2014 mentions the promise of more info made by then SWTOR development director Ben Irving. The question about improving queue times was asked at the EA press event for Shadow of Revan on the 19th of November 2014. The developer said, "Still working on it. We were talking about what to talk about. Something was promised a couple of weeks ago, but no promises other than that. We'll try before the end of the year to announce something. At the very least, we can give a date. To be clear, what you're going to get is not, here's what we're going to do. What you're going to get is, we know there's a problem. We know there's a concern from the players about this, and we are actively working on a solution. We're not trying to be coy, but we want to be able to explain it in full detail. It's a highly technical issue." It seems logical to conclude that these occurrences are what led to Eric Musko's post about BioWare's goals for addressing server concerns on December 15th of 2014. And then there's a link to that. Fast forward, and almost 2 years later, I think wouldn't be hard-pressed to find a SWTOR player who believes that this project significantly improved queue times for group activities. At best, one could claim the 90 cartel coin transfers lowered the barrier for players to transfer to more populated servers where queue times were better. Of course, this came at the expense of less popular servers. If this is the best solutions Bioware could come up with, then it was probably better than not making any attempt to address the issue of long queue times. Unfortunately, it leaves player on low-pop servers, like me, feeling that we got the shaft with this solution. I am not sure. I'm sure that's a popular
May the force be with
sign-off. Oh, okay, with you all. Okay. Sharel. Okay, may the force be with you all, Sharel. Thank you, Sharel.
He does his fantastic analysis, so he's quite good at research. We should get him on the show at some time. Now, as far as what he's saying, yeah, I mean, he sums it up really well. That is pretty much how it played out, though I'm pretty sure it was Ben Irving at the last New York Comic Con who said that it was at this New York Comic Con this year they would announce two things to do with the whole queue times. So... Right.
By this time, yeah.
Well, either we will get that, or they'll just bury it under coated information, so they don't have to. Either way.
Maybe reveal that stuff first and then coat it.
Snave. Was it Ben Irving who said that? Yeah, I remember that very clearly, and Snave was just confirming that in chat.
That's right. It was definitely one of the more interesting moments of that particular cantina.
Yeah. All right.
But
now,
knowing the history of it is kind of interesting too. So.
Yeah, we've got given where we are now. Hawk he tweeted this link. Yeah. Oh, actually, Snave is saying it was Bruce McLean who said that about the two things to announce. Okay. Either Ben Irving or Bruce McLean, one of those guys.
We'll see.
We will see, and I'm predicting they will say nothing about it at all. We'll just be talking about knights and eternal thrones and things.
Okay, shall we move on to the Sarlacc Digest?
Sure.
Okay, that'll bring us to the Sarlacc Digest, where we go over the issues for 1,000 years, or until we run out of time. And via Hawk, we have some questions about Kotfi being asked by SF Debris on the official forums. Tio, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So Hawk tweeted me this post on the official forums, and yeah, just a bunch of questions about Knights of the Fallen Empire, sort of how it went. The guy says the Kotfi was an experiment with new form of content release, the whole episodic thing. And since we're a couple away from Kotet's first bit of info being dropped, I thought this might be a good time to look back at the changes the system brought and allow players to perhaps provide a more organised response to the experiment. Given he only has 3 pages of responses, he didn't get a lot of feedback, but I'll include the link if you want to jump in and tell BioWare what you think about what they've done. So he's offered A rather overwhelming list of questions, which probably does tend to scare people off. You got to keep it simple. Try, like one question. You might actually get more responses. But anyway, we could just quickly talk through it. He's made 14 categories with questions in each. We're not going to do all of them, but let's just quickly skim over. Firstly, story content. Chapters 1 to 9 were released as a group, which is more like previous expansions, just giving it to you in the Big Bang. And then there was a delay of several months, and then they released them monthly. Was that good or bad? To do the big upfront and then the episodic releases eventually.
It's difficult to say without actually knowing the true numbers, because maybe for Bioware it was really good, but for us, the first chapters 1 to 9 were good, and then I hear a lot of people, and I probably would agree, that after chapter 10 to 16, the quality just kind of fell. It really did fall until chapter 16, where chapter 16 kind of made it all better again, but not really.
That's arguable. The quality of the chapters, especially towards the end, was increasing. Sure, it was good in 16, but even leading up to that, they were making them better, learning. But of course, 10, 11, those early ones, after 1 to 9, were all just companion recruitment missions, effectively
but a lot of people
made into a chapter.
A lot of people do say that chapters 1 to 9, apart from chapter 9, because that didn't really count, that was just more of a, hey, we're here on a Destin, hooray. Chapters 1 to 8 at least were probably the pinnacle, the really good chapters of Kotfi.
Right. I sort of think they nailed it in the first chapter, actually. That was like, that was amazing.
It was pretty beautiful,
awesome. Yeah. All right. Story-wise, what was the best aspect of Kotfi and what was the worst? Is there anything you want to pin down on that one? Because it's fairly broad.
Well,
nothing's really.
One other thing about the releasing it all at once is I'll be curious to see if they change that up for Kotet, if they in fact just stick to one chapter a month, or if they have like either a really really big chapter or a bunch, or several chapters that they release again,
or
right
bigger
when
chapters
Kotet
that are
opens.
further apart. Perhaps they could do that.
Could be.
I suspect they would like more time before each game update to actually get more stuff in, if they possibly could, but that means a longer wait, and will the emphasis continue to be to keep people subscribed? I don't know. Now, a proxy I've mentioned for general interest in SWTOR is Google searching on Star Wars The Old Republic and related terms via Google Trends, and let's just say interest has not picked up yet. I'm expecting a spike. I assume it will pick up with the actual proper announcement of Kotet.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on that. But at least so far, interest is at its lowest ever.
Are you able to see what it was like at the reveal of Kotfi?
At the reveal of Kotfi, there was a small bump, but then there was a much bigger bump, which happened to coincide with both Kotfi's release. But it then kept going up with The Force Awakens when that was released. So we have a confounding factor which you can't tease apart.
Yep.
Correlation is not causation, and we just don't know which one. This year we'll have Rogue One. That will be released just after. But now, then we'll find out whether, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, I believe is the expression. So yeah, we'll see.
Well done.
We'll see. Alright, next. Group content. Operations had a difficulty adjustment. Any signs of where this did well, where did not do well? Hard to tell, really, because everyone was kind of sick of them who'd been doing them regularly. New people getting into operations, that's great. Difficulty adjustment. Well, they sort of dumbed down story mode in a lot of cases. Hard mode seemed pretty much the same as ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just made the story modes more of a just blow through than anything else.
True. Yeah.
Are operations more accessible to the average player or less so? Story modes certainly a little bit easier to do in a pickup group than they were.
I think so.
Yeah, so sure.
And it's really gotten easy to get intro gear. So I mean, you can get into a story mode op with gear that you pretty much get going through the chapters practically. I mean, you might have to do a few hard mode flashpoints or something, but really it's pretty basic.
Exactly. It obviated the need for those flashpoints, as we talked about previously, which is a
Yeah.
shame because they're cool in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
Can operations still offer sufficient challenge to those who seek challenges? Where we have hard mode and we have nightmare mode, neither of which have actually been dumbed down. So sure, if you're not bored with them, yes, they are as challenging as ever. Because once you've mastered the mechanics, yeah, they haven't changed them at all. They're the same as ever.
But of course, didn't they say in future operations they were no longer going to do a nightmare mode? It's just going to be story mode and hard mode. So there's not going to be that extra bit of challenge anymore.
Ooh, did they actually say? No, they've never come out
They
and said
never
that.
said
They
that?
just stopped
Where
doing
did I
it.
hear
No,
that?
they have not said they would not do Nightmare. They just, no, that one, yes. Everyone assumed they were basically doing that, never be a Nightmare mode, and that's what's happened, but never been confirmed. Alright, PvP. Was your Destin map a satisfying addition to PvP? Chill, you've probably played this more than us. Certainly more than me.
I like it. Yeah, it feels a lot different from the other maps, which is something you definitely want. You don't want it to feel like like a clone of any of the others, and it definitely feels different. I mean, some people like it and others don't. I kind of enjoyed it. It tends to split the fights up a little bit more than maybe I think is ideal, but I do like the different mechanics and so on, and the map itself is interesting. So, yeah, overall I like it. I do like it.
Snave claims it's a monstrosity of a map.
Yes, I know. I'm aware he's not a fan. Yes, and certainly you see it a lot, for better or worse, because you do get the players from both sides playing it. So.
Yes. No, he doesn't like it. Though Zen says it's a great PvP map. In Trig PT, a Destin is all about running around avoiding fights. I'm sure you can play it like that if you want. But I guess you are trying to claim the objectives.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is really different from everything I've seen. Snave's got some good videos about it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
As have others.
Yep.
Alright, a new arena map was added. Yeah, the Rishi one, right? Was this a satisfying addition, or did the lack of new objectives make it same old, same old? Jill, is it just another arena?
It pretty much is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Deathmatch is deathmatch.
right. It's about the same relative size, has about the same amount of, line of sight ability, areas and stuff like that. Yeah, they're all a little different. They all have their own slight flavor, but yeah, it's kind of same old, same old.
Would you consider yourself an active PvP player, Jill? I know you do it, but actively.
I wish I was more active recently. It's been because of the Dark versus Light. I've been cranking on that for
Right.
so long that I haven't been doing PvP. We should probably have someone on who's been a little bit more active more recently. So,
Well, the question was whether the Alliance mission, to recruit Major Pierce or M14X, which requires doing a whole lot of PvP, did the fact that mission was there, bringing a whole lot of people who don't usually PvP into it, affect your gameplay either way?
not too much, but that was I've been doing a lot of jumping around different characters anyway with, not fully geared out people as well. So, yeah, probably, I'm one of the ones who's affecting other players as much as anything. So, yeah, no, I'd say for me it was not an issue. It probably is more of an issue for people with fully geared out characters who, are really good with one character, that sort of thing.
Right.
Wasn't an issue for me because Major Pierce was my companion and he won a Sith Warrior, so I just got him anyway. Yay!
Did you get him from the terminal in your, on Odessa?
No, when you actually go to see Major Pierce for the actual Alliance mission, he doesn't make you do the PvP stuff. You just get him back.
Oh, that's
you
easy.
just get him back. You don't have to do the PvP at all. Unless unless I'd already done it prior to it. I don't know. Does it count your previous times you've done PvP?
Nope.
I imagine it would be PvP afterwards. So yeah, it automatically completed because he was already my companion.
Okay, well that's kind of cool. Has the new system of open world PvP made the PvP experience better or worse, and how? And of course he's talking about the gameplay focus areas where you can actually switch to anywhere to a PvP mode as if you're on a PvP server, which don't exist anymore.
Right.
Have you ever switched to a PvP gameplay focus, Chill or Charlie?
I did once or twice early on just to see, and then only once or twice since then when it happened to be like a busy time, and I was having issues getting certain mobs killed and stuff like that. And I actually switched to the PvP server, and then found that there's basically no one on it.
Yeah, we did speculate it would be a good way to like farm nodes uninterrupted by going there where there's.
Yeah, the
definitely.
only reason I ever go to the PvP instance is when the game bugs out. There's no. I'm trying to click on something, but it's not actually there because the game's bugged out. So I go into PvP's instance, and there it is. So everything's good again. That's the only reason why I use it. And that is it.
Apparently, the Rishi Arena, Snave is saying, if you look at the waterfall, the hydro generator thing rotates the wrong way.
Yes.
It ruins his
right.
immersion.
Yes,
it rotates into the water.
Yes, it's like it's trying. Yeah, it's like it's trying to flap back the water back into the river. It's really bizarre.
And apparently Floridan says it's a scam, a hydroelectric plant that consumes energy rather than making it.
It would, too. It would have to if it was doing what it looks like it's doing.
Snave is speculating it's the true source of the Emperor's power. There you go. And on the subject of the gameplay focus switch, Snave says, changing PvP servers to a toggle was the most effective world PvP change ever. It absolutely wrecked whole servers. Well, yeah. Alright, so heroic missions.
Yeah.
Did Kotfi succeed in making old content relevant again with heroic missions? Yes, every heroic, pretty much. It's all scaled now. You can go and teleport straight to it. They took away all the the time-consuming conversational stuff. Was any of that good or bad?
It's handy to a point because, especially for my videos, the way I do my videos, I'm just doing the class story for my Sith Inquisitor and my Smuggler.
Sure.
So I don't do the planetary stuff, and because I'm not doing the planetary stuff, leveling up can get a little bit worse for wear, and I'm a little bit under-leveled for certain places. So just do some heroic missions, and we're good to go for the next bit of the story. So it's helped.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I mostly have done them sort of at max level just to pick up some credits and some of the boxes to turn into the various faction leaders and stuff. And for that it's good, and it is nice. So there are definitely heroics that I've never seen before until doing it this way.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely seeing content that I haven't seen.
I love the convenience of it, but it really does kind of take away the immersion. You just click on the teleport button, bang, you're there, you just do it. And yes, for credits or experience, it's great, but I don't know, it just seems to just be that much easier, much more convenient, efficient.
Yeah, it doesn't usually feel like there's much story left when you do it this way, especially if, when you actually get the heroic like from the fleet and then immediately transport to the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hawk said in the chat, wish they would have kept the cutscenes. Can you not do the cutscenes then? Could you not go to where the original quest holder was and get the cutscene?
That's a good question. I would have assumed you could, but I don't know. I haven't tried it out.
Yeah, I think I've picked up one or two the old way, but they happen to be ones that didn't have cutscenes anyway. So.
All right, someone to get back to us on. Now, crafting I'm going to skip over because none of us are crafters.
That's true.
Star Fortress 2+ mode can be soloed. Yes, we've all done that, but only if sufficiently geared, skilled, and have a good companion. Does it make it good to serve as a challenge? Yes, because it says 2+, and if you are not sufficiently geared, skilled, or have a good companion, you can do it with a friend. Why not? So that's good. They've been accused of being too repetitive. No.
Okay.
Yes, they are. That is correct. Do you feel that's accurate or overstated? No, couldn't overstate that. It's pretty much true. Charlie, you talked about that earlier.
You already mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to make it less repetitive? Well, obviously.
Yeah, the maps are slightly different from each other. I mean, there's some variance there, but they all feel the same. So.
All the fights are the same, effectively. So.
Yeah.
Right. The big fights are pretty much the same.
Yeah. Should they be added to the Gryffindor? I suppose if it was a 4-man, probably. I don't know if you bother with a 2-man.
Could they make a 4-man? Maybe.
Yeah, they'd have to obviously beef things up, but maybe they should just
beef it
do
up a
some
bit.
new flashpoints. Level sync. Has level sync improved your overall leveling experience or not? has level sync improved your group experience on relevant planets? Well, I never
I
group
think
up for quests, but anyway.
the only issue I just kind of have with this is that it was originally nice to just go on a planet and go through all these mobs that just weren't going to attack you, and now it's a little bit annoying, but they're not going to change it back. So what can you do?
Yeah, I like the idea of not being... I mean, if you do all the story and all the other side missions, the exploration missions now, you will very quickly out-level a given area, especially if you're a subscriber and in a guild with all the bonuses and the rest. So I like level sync in that respect because it effectively keeps all the content relevant. So you could go from 1 to 50 just through the class story and get to 65. And everything would still be challenging-ish.
Yeah,
So
sometimes
cool.
when I would get ahead of the content sometimes and kind of have to hustle to the next planet, and this way I can kind of enjoy the story without feeling like, oh gosh, I got to get the heck out of here so I can get to the next planet where things will be green again. So
Exactly.
so for that it's fine. It hasn't really affected me as far as group experience on those planets though.
Yeah, because those missions can pretty much all be soloed anyway.
Yeah.
For the most part. Now, Alliance Specialists. What is your feeling on how the Alliance Specialists are implemented? That's the 4 guys, including the Hutt, Dr. Ogorob. Do you feel the rewards for leveling Alliance Specialists are sufficient or insufficient? And are there any changes you would like to see to Alliance Specialists? I kind of ignored them for the most part, except where I had to get those extra buffs in the Star Fortress Eye. But, yeah, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean they're fine, but I don't even consider them that important at this point. So, yeah, I mean if they wanted them to feel important, then maybe not so great. But if they were just supposed to be there for flavor and to hand out missions, then they certainly do that.
Yeah, that's all I can really say. Really, there's not much I can really say about the Alliance Specialists. They're just there. And
They're just there in the background. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, companions. Now it's a massive change with companions, obviously. We're used to it now, but every companion can be healer, tank, or DPS, and you can just switch them on the fly, as long as you're out of combat. Their stats come from your gear. Well, actually, their stats come from your level, and you can put gear on them, but it's just cosmetic. You don't have to worry about gearing them up anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all good? And, yeah, let's start with that.
Saves a lot of money in the long run.
True.
If you were to give them the like armorings and mods one by one, so that's good.
And they don't look like freaks because you've dressed them up in whatever off-cast pieces you can find.
Yep, that's right. They definitely look a lot better nowadays, that's for sure. I mean, it's certainly more handy, to have them so that they can do whatever role you want. And that way you can also keep whatever companion you like with you. And certainly... if you happen to be on a class story that doesn't get a healer until very late, that is, it's certainly a boon to those classes. I mean, it's definitely handy. It's convenient. If that's what you want, then yes, it's massively convenient.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd have to say I don't think I could ever go back to the way it originally was. Just not having a companion that only did damage or healing. It's just. I don't want to have Brewmark out because he's just not that fun to have out in conversations.
Exactly. Having the choice to pick the companion you actually want to have at any given time, and you can just switch them over and it won't matter because they don't have to gear them up. They don't have to have a particular ability or particular role. That really is cool. Now, the whole...
I was going to say, when I say having Brewmark out, it does annoy me, and I don't know if that's one of the points we're coming up to, where just the companions we have in Copfeed just don't say anything in conversations. Not really. Well, in the main stories they do, but everything else, nothing.
Okay. Alright, the whole influence versus affection. We used to have affection, which means we could annoy our companions as well as make them happy. At the moment, what they changed it to was influence, which means no matter what you do, you still get the points. You may annoy them, and that may have some consequence that is completely unrelated to you building influence with them. Is that good? It means your negative choices that annoy them will have no negative consequences.
Yeah, I guess, and for BioWare it makes sense because they don't want to make players unhappy. Like, oh, well, I've given this companion a bunch of gifts, and now I've lost influence. That's not fair at all. But it just makes no sense when you're in a cutscene, you do something really, really bad. Your companion really dislikes that, and then in the end they're like, "Love you anyway." It's
Yes.
what? Come on.
Points. Well, the question was
Yeah.
also asked, has this affected your conversation choices? Because now, I mean, obviously, previously we
that's-
may go back and change what we chose just to keep our...
Right.
But now
And that
it
was
doesn't
what
matter.
I was going to get to. If I wouldn't have liked it if the game started off this way, but since I've already done many, many characters and seen pretty much all of the companion choices that I was going to do, i.e. the ones that don't create negative vibes, it's kind of nice to go back and then be able to see some of these where you do make the choices that specifically will piss off the characters, because, you know,
Yep.
you no longer have to worry about the fact that it's going to put you back as far as their affection. So I've seen a lot of interesting conversation choices that I had never seen before. So for that, I'm pretty happy about it. But sometimes it feels weird that your influence is going up on people that you're pretty much pissing off with every time you open your mouth.
Yeah. Maybe you're just influencing them in a bad way, but for all intents and purposes, it doesn't
Right.
matter. Now, what about the whole leveling to 50, rank 50, which can only effectively be done with gifts? A lot of gifts. Is that just a pointless grind? I mean, we apparently like grinds, and the only source of gifts that's reliable are, well, heroic missions, probably. Not the best one.
I guess it's okay if there's a dedicated companion that you love and you want to do it for that one companion. But then if you have multiple companions you like, it's a bit of a grind, and I don't. And especially if you have other characters as well, you've got to do it all over again if you want to do it on other characters.
True. For
So
a crafter,
it's
yes.
a bit much.
And just imagine the scenario where your favourite companion was a certain one that at the end of towards the end of the story, you sort of disappeared on you. And that was the one you ranked up to 50. Now,
Yep,
they have
that
told
was
us we're
sad.
getting them back. Have they actually implemented that? Anyone know who lost that particular... well, actually, we all lost them, didn't we? Lost that companion. Has anyone tried to get them back?
I didn't lose that companion, just gonna say.
Really?
Nope.
There was story choices that kept... Are you sure we're talking about the same one?
If we're talking about the one that begins
Scorpio.
with a K. Oh, I thought you meant the one beginning with a K.
No. I'll cut that bit out.
And yes. Anyway.
Yes. Might go back and check that.
I'm okay with the 50 thing. I mean, they certainly took some of the inflation out of the economy, because so many gifts have been used up that were sort of, you know, cheaply gotten over years and years, and from the what do you call it, the one-armed bandit bug, or, you know, rebalance that they had to do.
Right.
So for the slot machine.
Yeah.
Well, that's something. I remember when I saw something on Reddit where somebody had actually leveled up. Should I really say it? Because it's kind of happened now. Darth Maul leveled him up to the rank 50 before the main stuff. They did it just for fun, and it's just like, yeah. Anyway.
All right. Let's just talk about Conquest briefly. Apparently, they reduced the number of points for many of the Conquest events. I didn't even know, because I haven't even paid any attention to Conquest at all. So
No Conquest in ages.
yeah, don't know. Events. Well, Dark versus Light, was it a good thing having the event? Because they've really just had the old ones, which they've been cycling around. Dark versus Light.
Well, they certainly got me to do it.
Mm?
Yeah,
That's for
I'm
sure.
doing it every now and then. Yeah.
And why is there no Nightlight event this year? Boo.
Yeah, I said that. And again, like I said earlier on at the start of the show, it kind of just needs to be on all the time. Why keep it off?
Alright, now Eternal Championship. I think we've talked about this, was it last week? Blacklock had some opinions about it. That it was kind of cool the first time, but then once you got through it, it's like, why bother? I thought it would be more repeatable than it actually was, to be honest. There are course achievements to get, but
Yeah,
either of you guys doing the Eternal Championship?
not regularly. No.
Like I said in a show a long time ago, I said only do it once, and that's all I've really done it. I've only done it once. Of course, I'll do it for the Dark Forces Light stuff at some point.
Right.
But yeah, I've kept what I said I was going to do.
Subscriber rewards. Did you enjoy the more frequent rewards offered during COTFI, or the previous rewards that were less frequent? Which rewards did you enjoy the best? Oh god, they're all HK themed things. So yes, the bonus chapter was awesome, I guess.
There was
relatively.
1 month that wasn't HK, if I remember rightly.
Oh yeah.
1 month.
The token, not HK gift. Yes. Any thoughts?
Yeah, the chapter was the best.
Yeah.
And the backpack is pretty fun, but yeah.
It was an okay chapter. I enjoyed it for the most part. I know people. I have a friend who just absolutely despised it. He didn't really give a good reason why, but it was, I guess, nice. It kind of confused me. It didn't make. I mean, I understood it, but it just still confused me how that could have happened, how that's even happened. But anyway.
Pappy Van suggested an HK55 Vibro mop.
Oh god.
That'd be awesome.
What rewards do you think we're going to get this year?
That'd be a fun emote.
Oh, I can't even guess anymore.
I say this year, next year.
Yeah, don't know. Alright, lastly, this is where we'll finish. This is for each of us. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not caring and 10 being most important, how much did you wish there was more new content for the following? Operations. I'll go first. Operations 10. Flashpoints 10. Galactic Starfighter 5. 10 if it was PvE. Seeker Droid Macro 5 or 6. Could do a bit more of that. Reputation leveling 4 or 5. Don't really care. Chill.
Yeah.
Operations.
Kind of similar. 10, just because it'd be nice to have the group back.
Flashpoints.
Flashpoints, almost a 10, but maybe like a 9 or an 8. I mean, I'd really rather have the operations back than anything, but, you need more flashpoints too.
GSF?
For GSF, it's almost like all or nothing. I mean, if they really start cranking out new content and getting people, so that it's interesting to get back into it, then yeah, I'd love to have it, but, unless they're willing to make that big push back into it, one new map or something isn't going to do anything. So like a 3, I guess. Unless they, like I said, unless they really get the community re-engaged in it, and then it's...
Or go PvE. That'd be awesome.
Secret Droid and Macro, I never really got into super heavy, so maybe like a 3. And reputation leveling, I'm just not a reputation grinder, so that's like a 1 for me no matter what.
Right, okay.
I'm just not the person to ask
Not
for
a rep
that.
guy.
Nah.
Alright, and Mr. Mr. Charlie Kranitoko. Let's start with operations.
Operations 7. It's not more for me. I mean, I do operations every now and then. I haven't done operations in quite a while, mostly because it's all old content now. 7 more just for everybody else. I want everybody else to enjoy operations and bring back some of the players which have now left because there are none. There are no new ones.
Flashpoints?
Flashpoints 8, because I do enjoy a good flashpoint every now and then, and I am sick and tired of the Star Fortress. I was sick and tired of it within a few months of it being released, and I want something fresh, I want something new, I want something exciting, and I want it to be story related as well.
Mm-hmm.
What about getting your Galactic Starfighter on?
4, because I never really did it when it came. I did it a little bit for about a week, and then I just stopped. And I know there are people out there who really want Galactic Starfighter, so I'd like to see it for them again as well. But for me, nah, not really.
Seeker Droid and Macro Binoculars.
It was quite difficult trying to get a group for the final missions of those. If it was single player stuff, then for sure, yeah, I'd give that a 7. But the group stuff, no, because that is a nightmare to get.
That last mission in the macro that requires 4 people, no matter what.
They
maybe 3, but yeah, that was kind of nasty.
Yeah.
And
finally, I really like the traffic scene.
Yes, jumping from speeder to speeder.
Love that.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
Yeah, that's true. And finally, Charlie, rep grinding.
5. I mean, I have a bunch of reputations I still need to get to fully max, but some of them were taking a long time to do it, and it's
Right.
tedious to do the same content over and over and over again. You could be doing it for a week and still not even have the reputation. You'd have to go on another character, and then another character, and then maybe you'd finally get it, and it's a bit too much sometimes. Maybe if they scaled down the reputation leveling, perhaps, but at the moment it is far too much for me.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Those questions are all there on the official forums. I'll include the link in our show notes. So if you want to go on the official forums and let Bioware know what you think about all these topics, and they're actually really good questions. So thank you, SF Debris of the official forums.
Is there anything else from the chat room?
No, the guys have just been talking as we've been going.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed any questions.
Snave is on fire.
He is. All right, then, that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Harbinger server, or in our guild on the Empire side, do a /c join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast. You can find contact details for all of us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe to us using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Go to OotiniCast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room. And thank you, Charlie Coronatoko.
Thank you very much for having me. Hopefully I can come back again.
And we'll see you next week.
Alright guys, keep recording. Everyone, thank you for watching. We will be back next week, and I think we did conclude we would be on the Thursday night, on the eve of the Coated announcement, so it'll probably be a short show because the next week's show will actually probably be quite long. Indeed. Alright, yep, we will finish there. So may the Force be with you or serve you well. See ya.
Bye.